Afternoon, all of you. So we have three groups. One is Windows, second Macintosh, third is Android. Okay. So the team members are ready.
Yes.
So each group has to speak on some topic. So Windows is speaking on which topic? Data hiding and encapsulation. That means the basic concepts of classes and objects. Okay, Macintosh? Copy constructors. Very nice. Android? Okay. That means, see what the session will go like this. That one of the group members, suppose Windows coming here to explain. This is a peer teaching learning session. Okay. We will try to understand from our peers, and I think that will clear up many doubts. Okay. I will be the moderator here. One of the members from the Windows group will come here and explain that topic about it. If she thinks that she wants to call somebody else for the second part, she can call. Okay, the option is open. They all have to defend themselves if there is a question from the other groups. Okay. Similarly, the other group has to perform. Every group is given 10 minutes. Okay, you shouldn't exceed 10 minutes. Right? Ready, all of you? Okay. So Windows is starting. You have first.
And these are member functions. Member functions can be many, and this also. So the basic difference between a class and a structure is that supposedly I don't write this. So this will automatically be private by default. And if I write struct here, so it will automatically be public. So this is the basic difference between a class and a structure. Navish will continue with public and private access types.
My name is Ramesh and I'm going to talk about the different access types in class and structure. There are three access types in this structure as well as class: private, public and protected. First of all, I would like to talk about the private access type. Suppose a member function is made private, then it will only be accessible within the class, but not from outside. For example, I make a class here. Suppose I also make a function here in this private exercise. I made this variable private, so it will not be accessible from outside. So if I do this void main, I will declare an object to access this class ABC, and if I try to access this X from outside the class, then this will land up with an error. This is private access type. Now I would like to talk about the public access type. Whenever a member function is made,
here define about data hiding and data encapsulation. So data hiding and data encapsulation comes under OOPS feature, means object oriented programming. For example, if I take an example of class ABC and then I create int x, then in function f initialize X if I create this class in which I have kept data member X and member function F in private access type and in public I have kept call, then in void main if I call this will land up with an error because we cannot call any variable data member X from a private access type. So basically data hiding means hiding data in private access type. If this is my class and then in public this is my function. So this F data member X and member function F has been hidden by private access type. Same for data encapsulation. If data encapsulation basically means that wrapping of data members or member functions in private access type by member functions in public access type. So if I give you a gift and doesn't wrap it, then everyone has the access to see that gift. But if I wrap it, then it is then the wrapper is termed as public and the gift inside is termed as private. So when you unwrap it, then only we have the access to that gift. So the data is made encapsulating by wrapping the gift by wrapper. So the basic difference is
Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
how can we check that the data is encapsulated? When I create this class, if I here call the function in public, then this function will go to this member function in private class and X will be out. So which means that your X has been given a value and this has wrapped this member function.
Are you satisfied? Any questions from any other group to the Windows group? Data hiding, data encapsulation, private, public, protected access types. Macintosh, no question. Nimit.
I want to ask, what are the advantages of data encapsulation?
It secures your program. The main advantage is this: it will secure your program because you have made a medium restricted area. Because when you are when you access your private data members or member functions in private access type, so there is a restricted area. So you can only do that when you create a public member function.
From Android group, any questions? Okay. Done. Thank you. All of you, please clap. Next, who is coming? Macintosh? Who is leading for the Macintosh? Ina? Wherever you need to illustrate, then only you illustrate. It is taking time. Okay? You try to cover up verbally. If there is any issue in understanding, then you can go for the illustration.
Good afternoon, my name is Hina and I am from Macintosh Group. Today I am going to talk about copy constructors. What are copy constructors? Basically, if we go by definition, copy constructor is a special member function of a class having same name as that of the class, no return type, and is called automatically when an object of a class is initialized by another object of the same class. Now what does this exactly means? An object of a class is initialized by another object of the same class. So okay, let's get started.
If you have any questions, you can interrupt in between. It is not necessary that you have to ask at the end. Okay?
actually is happening here is that I have created an object of the class ABC OB and set the parameters 3 and 4.5 in the parameterized constructor here. So in the respective x and y parameters of the memory of OB gets 3 and 4.5 gets there. So now what is happening that we are initializing basically means declaring an object and giving it some value. So what I have done here is I have declared an object OB1 and give it its value as OB, which is already a declared object. So the parameters of OB gets copied into the OB1 and basically we are creating its duplicate. So what happens here that according what grammar says that when we give the command like OB1 is equal to OB or OB1 brackets OB, the copy constructor gets called. So what is happening here that the parameters of OB is going that the OB and ampersand OB share the same memory, and in the x and y parameters of OB1, the x and y parameters of OB gets copied. Now why we have used ampersand sign here? Let me explain it to you. If you will not use ampersand sign here, it will land up in an technical error, which is it will end up in an infinite loop. Now how will it end up in an infinite loop? For example, if the parameters of OB are passed into OB, then internally what is happening that OB is getting equal to OB. So internally a copy constructor is being created, and that is why it is.
The job was yours to teach here. There was a feeling that questions, if it is asked from the other end, now how will you answer them? So that pressure made you, do a lot of R&Ds and come up with new things. Okay. So what she has said is that through a copy constructor, we can initialize an object by multiple objects. We can initialize one object by the values of two objects. So this is something new, brilliant enough. Good.
Good afternoon, I am Nimit from Macintosh, and I will explain you the first situation which Hina does when an object is initialized with another object of the same class. We can add show which out display the output. Now you can see that when we have created an object OB and we here a parameterized constructor is called this. So output will be like this. D 4.5. Now, the next time we have created another object OB2 with the help of the existing object. Here, copy constructor is called. So, the OB goes to this copy constructor, and the value of OB is of x values goes into OB2x and then OB2y and then it is stored in OB2. You can also write this like OB2 here then if I add ABC OB dot show and OB2 dot show. So first output will be like this only, and here the X is copied into the OB2 X and Y is copied into OB2 Y. So 3 and 4.5 will be displayed. So now I want to also say that she also talked about the assignment operator. Actually, when we talk about assignment operator, in this no new object is created. You can see I have declared another object OB1. Here OB1 is declared, so large value is already stored. The function of assignment operator is to initialize the new value into the other object. Okay, that's all, and I would like to also give for the second situation, that is call the value to.
Good morning. Today I am given here to pay where the second situation given the computer constructor is called, that is when an object is passed to a function by value. If you have any question, you can ask in between. Please ask. Remember, I told you questioning will make you understand, not listening. Just stand and ask, and loudly.
Is there any way to prevent the copying of
What's the question?
Is there any way to prevent the copying of objects?
Copying of a?
Copying of objects.
We are creating it for the purpose of
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you create it in the private part, the copy will be not valid, but that is not used.
Also, we can also do a part to show if this. So, no copy will be made. Is it clear? Any questions? Any questions, Priya? Are you satisfied? Macintosh, everybody satisfied with the explanation? Do you want to add anything to it? Okay. So we have the third group, and till now I think Veena has come up with something new. For that Veena will be obviously getting a big point. I will be introducing a big point in your respective chart. Whoever gives something new, addition to it, which we haven't gone through inside the class, but something new you are getting into it. Okay. So Android group, who is going? Okay.
Good morning. Today I, Ayushi, on the behalf of the group Android, is going to tell you about the topic constructors. So basically what a constructor is, it is like a function, but it is something special than a normal function. It is a special member function of class that is used to initialize an object of a class, and it has same name as the class with no return type. Let me tell you.
The topic is constructor.
mentioned in the public access type of the class. It has to be.
If it is mentioned in the private access type of the class, the new object of that class cannot be created in the void.
Why is this so? You don't ask question, you know. Whenever I attend any type of meeting or conference, I am in a habit of asking questions because I don't get satisfied easily. So you should ask questions. I told you C++ is all about questions. If I ask you why, Shreya?
So it is private. When we put something in private, it is accessible only in the class, not in void mode. If we mention the constructor in private, it will not be called in the void mode.
Exactly. See, so this is the answer she has to give. Please ask question. Now it becomes clear.
See here, it is the constructor. It has the same name as that of the class, ABC. It has no return type. And in the void main, an object OB is created. Here, when the object OB is created, it jumps to here, and this line gets executed. So in the output, we get constructor is executed. Now,
Can there be any other use apart from initializing an object of a constructor?
they can be copying of one object into other and giving default values to the constructor object. My friends will talk about it.
We always call constructor in the public only.
Yes, otherwise we will not be able to access it in the void main.
Can we call it outside the class?
We can call it outside the class by making its prototype here and then making the function outside.
The definition of the function outside.
Now my friends will carry on.
Ayushi, just a question. What is the work of this constructor? ABC?
Here it is used to create this object.
When the object is created, the constructor gives garbage values to the new object.
So it is giving some garbage value.
Garbage value. It is initializing the new object.
Who is coming next?
Mudit will be giving you an example.
Okay, Mudit, please.
I'm going to write an example for the constructor.
Here, the class is created here, and the default constructor is defined here. In the void main, when new object of the class is created, when it is created, it jumps to the default constructor that is mentioned in the class, and the execution is like cout x. We have 100 in the x, so the output will be 100 because of the constructor is called here. So
Any questions?
What implicitly creates a default constructor when the programmer does not explicitly define its
Sorry.
What implicitly creates a default constructor when the programmer does not explicitly define at least one constructor of a class?
It is actually present in the private sector. If we make the private sector and there is no constructor visible there, but actually it is invisible, not seen to you.
What was your question exactly?
To know what implicitly creates a default constructor when the programmer does not explicitly define at least one constructor of a class.
when none of the constructors are given in a class, how is the default constructor made in the class?
your answer was?
It is already there.
It is already
But
there.
it's not visible.
Okay, any other questions?
Is a constructor always called explicitly?
Is a constructor always called explicitly? This is the question.
Basically, what is explicit call of a constructor?
By itself.
Huh?
By itself.
Constructor is called explicitly because when you create an object, you need to initialize it. This is the main use of a constructor.
But it says always.
What?
Always got explicitly.
No, we can call it